Many thanks for choosing us. Let's begin with the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, that has suspended its industrial action temporarily. This followed an emergency meeting by UTAG's National Executive Committee on Monday to evaluate their ongoing strike. Prior to this, meetings held between the leadership of UTAG, Parliament Education Committee, the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, Education Ministry, and the Labour Minister last week had ended inconclusively. Here are excerpts of the statement released after the meeting.
From the eminent persons, the Parliamentary Select Committee, we also considered our students who also made the appeals and the rest. So these are the things that we used as our considerations. But to say that there's something on the table at this point, as we've said, there's nothing. We are just being cautiously optimistic.
Has government made any commitment? You've said earlier that you are calling off the strike, that, okay, call it off, and you are going to improve the working conditions, all the conditions that you have
there. Been the commitments that have come in from the government side through these eminent persons. So at this point, we are just being optimistic. We're just being very cautious. But we all know that government oftentimes don't heed to its cries. So if they don't to get things done, then I wouldn't be surprised that we may have to come back and then go over the circle again.
Yes, the guy in blue at the back.
The NLC that has taken UTAG to court. So from here, we'll be trooping to court. We have a court hearing at 1:30 p.m. So we'll be going to court for the hearing of that case. These are two different issues. One is to negotiate, the other one has to do with whether the legality of a strike or otherwise. So these are two separate matters that we believe we can work on at the same time.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, to set aside today. Following the suspension of the strike, does it end that process or you still seeking that relief?
We are one of our releases. We are going to continue the court case to its logical conclusion. So on our side, we'll keep fighting the case in court. We believe it's the right thing to do, and we need to be able to bring finality to these things, because we believe it's something that labor must get done, and we are getting it done this time around.
For instance, we heard that management wrote a letter directing the lecturers to go back to the classroom. So just you start doing to assist your members in some of these institutions who are under pressure.
That who is on this side is under pressure, and the pressure is not small. Sometimes even your pastor gets involved. So this is how far the pressure can go. So when it happened at UPSA, quickly the leaders there responded to management to inform them that they are waiting on for NEC to take a decision. So now that NEC has taken a decision, it's easier for us to now see to the various managements once the individual.
Let's go live to the press center and speak with my colleague, Kwekwa Asante, who is monitoring events for us. Kwekwa Asante, UTAG president says that they're going back to the classrooms whilst negotiation goes on, but he says it is temporarily. I mean, when do they intend to bring finality to this matter?
So, Aisha, the leadership of UTAG says they are giving government 14 days. And so this strike is only suspended for the next 14 days to give government the opportunity to ensure that the working conditions of UTAG are improved. Of course, UTAG says they were not willing to back down on this strike, but they got calls from some eminent Ghanaians. They met former president, they met Ms. Sam Jonah. They also met student groups who were telling them about how the strike has been impacting them, how it is taking the academic calendar out of sync. And so they've listened to all these pleas, and they are returning to the classroom for the next 14 days and hoping that government takes the opportunity to resolve these concerns. The sense they are giving is that in the next 14 days, if government does not resolve this strike, then their members will embark on another strike, which will probably have no end in sight. We understand that, last year, UTAG embarked on a similar strike action. Government impressed upon them to sign an MOU and call off the strike while she continue. Nothing came out of that, and so UTAG says now we are cautiously optimistic that government will get on the way of ensuring that the accidents are met. If not, then they are going to go on the mother of all strike.
Now, the president spoke about a court case, a pending court case. How does it actually affect today's decision?
So technically, that case was to pronounce on whether or not the strike being embarked on by UTAG was legal or illegal. But now that UTAG has called off the strike, we know that that court case is happening today, later today. It is not clear what exactly will be done because UTAG have called off that strike before the court invited to make a pronouncement as to legality or otherwise. But UTAG says this expected should go ahead within its normal, natural course. And they expect that no decision will be made as to compelling them to get back to work because they've actually just called off the strike themselves. And so what some people have been telling us is that the court might probably step down on the issue of whether to decide whether the strike was legal or illegal and wait until maybe the resurgent strike in 14 days comes up again before NLC may go to court. But what we understand from the NLC is that if UTAG have not called off the strike yesterday and today, when they go to court, they will be willing to cite the leadership of UTAG for contempt for disobeying the court orders because last week the High Court ordered UTAG members to resume, but UTAG did not pay heed to that specific order. And so what the NLC had been telling us was that they were going to cite UTAG for contempt. But now that UTAG has called on the strike, all those specific actions are now moot, and we are waiting to see what exactly the court will do for this particular suit, Aisha.
Ashanti is our man following the UTAG conversation at the press center for us. Let's listen to President of UTAG who's been addressing the press. The president, Professor Nuno, who's been addressing the press on UTAG's next stage, he's talking about going to court, and he says that would not affect the decision today. And you heard Ashanti talk about if they had not cancelled or the strike, they would have been charged for contempt for disobeying the court's order. We'll try and get him on that one. But at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, they've been excited. Students are excited about the suspension of the strike. Listen to some of them.
That has affected me personally, because I'm in final year, and final year we do projects and stuff. Due to the strike, sometimes you call your supervisors and they will tell you they are on strike. You need some assistance with your project and you won't get it anyway. Sometimes, though, you have to research and stuff to get assistance for your projects. The best assistance can come from your lectures, but here lies the case. They are telling us they are on strike, so we shouldn't bother reaching out to them.
I came to campus the very first day that continuous students were supposed to come, and it was like we didn't know what to do, like anything to do on campus, just staying on campus and waiting for the strike to be called off. But actually just yesterday after their meeting, they came into a conclusion that they will call the strike off, but we are still on campus and we've heard nothing. So for me, I'm still on campus and I'm not ready to go home.
The strike has really affected all of us as a student, especially the final year students. I'm in third year, and it has really affected us. We just came to school, it's almost 2 months now, and then we do nothing. We just wake up and then go back to bed, wake up, go back to bed. And then I'm really happy they've called off the strike, because it's really going to help us. First it was the COVID, and now strike. It's really slowing down the academic system and all, so I'm really happy.
You had students from the KNUST who were excited about the strike that has been cancelled by the UTAG members. Now, some driver unions have rejected a 15% increment in transport fares announced by the Ghana Roads Transport Coordination Council. The unions, the Ghana Committed Drivers, National Concerned Drivers, and True Drivers say the coordinating council does not speak for them, insisting they have already increased fares by 30%. Transport operators under the Roads Transport Coordination Council arrived at the 15% increment starting this weekend. The increase will affect shared taxis, intra-city, popularly known as trotro, and intercity transport. The drivers say the hike has been necessitated by the increase in the price of fuel. Member of the communication team of the Ghana Private Roads Transport Union, GPRTU, Samuel Amwa, has details of the meeting.
Lengthy deliberations on discussions. The conclusion was that transport operators have been given 15% upward adjustment of transport fares. And then the agreement is that this increment is taking place or taking effect right from coming Saturday, the 26th of February 2022. We are urging all commuters to go strictly by these directives from the ministry and the transport operators. So currently, the approved transport fares has come out and is 15%, and that is what we have agreed upon.
But some unions have rejected the announcement. Chairman of the Committed Drivers, Charles Danso, tells my colleague Elton Brobe they won't comply with the directive.
From next week, Saturday going, you go around and check whether it is 15% that they are taking.
So meaning what? You'll be charging the 30%?
They will be charging 30%.
In other words, you are rejecting the 15% increment.
They will reject it. They've rejected it. BA,
yes.
And then Upper East, they are taking the 30%.
But isn't that unlawful, knowing that the coordinating council now says it should be 15%?
Who is the coordinating council? Do they buy fuel for us? Do they buy cars for us? So who are they?
So, Mr. Alonso, you are not accepting a 15% increment?
That's my brother. We increased our fare last time. Even Metro Mass increased their fare about 2 weeks ago. Have you spoken to them?
I just spoke to the secretary to the GPRTCC, and he is of the view that because of competition, some of you might even decide to charge lower than the approved 15%.
We don't know any competition. If you go, maybe the rickety cars are going to charge 15%. We will take 30%.
Isn't that not being unlawful?
What makes it unlawful?
Because there's a communique that says that all of you should charge 15%.
Communicate to who?
To all driver unions.
It's not true. So, Ohene Yabua, we are not part of their Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council. We are not part of GPRTU. If there is a coordinating council, is GPRTU not an organization? Why are they not part of GRTCC?
Were you consulted before this meeting that came to this decision?
We were not consulted.
But Secretary to the Road Transport Coordination Council, Emmanuel Ohene-Yeboah, says the demands of the breakaway unions are unjustified.
They came out with some percentages which we thought was quite outrageous and, not based on scientific fact. So we have to meet and determine what we can do to support the industry as a whole. The word of any personal interest and any parochial positions.
So this decision you've taken, or this announcement that has come out, has the backing of all the unions?
To a very large extent, yes, because the coordinating council and the GPRC are arguably the largest transport operators in Ghana. We command over 90%, 95% of the total operations. And this has been the forum where prices are discussed and implemented over the years, for the past 6 years or more. I mean, it's more than even 10 years. So
farmers at Enyinamso in the Etriman-Nwabija district of the Ashanti region are seeking government's intervention in what they describe as the invasion of their cocoa farms by illegal miners. A visit to the small farming community revealed a daring act of illegal mining in the path of water bodies. Cocoa farms are found to be selling for between 10,000 and 25,000 cedis. Lava firms. Erasa Sasaridonko was in that area in our report.
Enyinamso number 1 and 2 are twin farming communities recently taken over by mining in the Etriman-Nwabija district of Ashanti. The entire river belt of the river Enyinam has been taken over and destroyed by illegal miners, even as the government's Operation Halt fights mining close to water bodies across the country. So this is what remains of the river Enyinam. It has been stopped right here, and the miners are now digging deep within the riverbed itself. And so it is denying farmers here water to water their crops and even use it to spray their cocoa farms. And as you can see, the riverbed has been blocked here, and so definitely when it starts raining, there's going to be a huge overflow which will destroy their cocoa farms over to the other side. Cocoa farms are bought by miners for between 10,000 and 25,000 cedis. Those who will not sell, like Boache Mensa, sometimes find themselves cut out from their farms by the miners. They are frustrating us to force us to sell our farms, but we won't, because it's a legacy for us and our children's children. Some farmers are incensed with illegal mining activities here. To government, the Chinese are destroying cocoa farms. Every mined area here used to be a cocoa farm that could have served our country well. But some of the miners claim they are operating legitimately even in the middle of the river. Thomas Arthur claims he works for a licensed mining company.
Small scale mine, mineral commission for the Nayak company.
This is a small-scale mining site awarded to Nayak by the Minerals Commission, and we are working with them. It extends to Kukubiso and Ekradada. For the destruction to the river, we came to meet it. Close to the main Nkaria Bebiani road, miners are busily digging close to the asphalt. Also, within the Enyinamso number 2 township, some Chinese miners are boldly mining away with huge equipment. Until the government intervenes, farmers and cocoa farms are at great risk of mining. Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Enyinamso, Ashanti region.
2 workers at a construction site were buried alive when a wall collapsed on them at Konkromase near Atasimanso in the Ashanti region. The 2 men yet to be identified are believed to be between the ages of 27 and 39 years.
The 2 deceased were among 4 employees digging a trench for the foundation of a housing project. A nearby retaining wall collapsed, trapping the 2 beneath it. The rescue operation involved the police, fire service, and ambulance service. The 2 were discovered dead in the rubble. Kwabena Wiafe is a surviving worker.
It's a missing in inside. No boy soon to one if you know one to go almost.
I was working with the machine and suddenly the wall of the other house collapsed on the other workers. We realized at the other side of where we were digging, it was soaked with water, so we stopped. Where it collapsed, we didn't see any sign of such.
Chamber and Suno in uniform to Namahuna Suku. Okay. Into one of the Jay. Say, but this one, handy and sign beer and shoe say, bit me bukra.
2 other workers survived the accident. One of them sustained injuries and was rushed to the hospital. The police have invited the contractor on the project for questioning as the workers have been asked to suspend work. Reporting for Joy News, Obideshio Froyamanfo.
The mayor of Accra has ordered for investigations into fire outbreak that caused the death of 2 people at Abuja Market in Adabraka. The fire incident destroyed many stalls in the early hours of Monday, February 21, 2022. Tasha Michelle has more in the following report.
Only piles of ash remain at the Abuja Market in Adabraka after a fire raced through many stalls. According to some squatters, the fire started around 2 a.m. and destroyed tens of thousands of Ghana cedis worth of goods. The mayor of Accra, Elizabeth Saki, in the company of ECG, Ghana Water Company and the Ghana National Fire Service, has ordered for the area to be cordoned off to make way for investigations to commence.
For now, investigation will be going on. And I want to plead with all of you. We do not want to see any action, anything, any structure being put back here. No way. We are asking you in all humility that we do not want to see any structure, any activity going on here until the investigation is being done. And then we get the results. So, as of now, that is my instruction to all of you. And I know, being the good Ghanaian citizen, law-abiding citizens, you adhere to this call and then stay off here for the time being.
MCA for Kwali Klote, Ni Ajay Taria, warned the squatters to desist from putting up any more structures in the area. He also directed those whose items were not affected by the fire to evacuate the area.
For those that their properties have been burned down, they don't have to put it back. For those that their properties are still here, we advise them to immediately look for alternative places move to, because we'll be calling off the whole place.
Some of the persons who were affected by the fire disagreed with the decision to evacuate them.
We are pleading on the government that after investigation and everything, if he can listen to us, and the mayor is also a woman, he's like a mother, so she can consider us and listen to our plea. Not that we are challenging them or we are saying that we are not going. We have stayed here for 6 to 7 years now till this disaster. So even if they sack us, since we can't go outside and force people to get what we will eat, we also move to another bush and make sure it became like this.
The officials say they are awaiting the final report from the investigations into the cause of the fire before it takes any further action on the illegal squatters under the heavy electricity load carrying pylons. Tasha Michelle's report for Joy News.
And you heard that Tasha Michelle's report read to you. We'll take a break on news today. When we return, we'll bring you the very latest from the world of business.
Good afternoon, time for business. My name is Darryl Kwao. The Intergovernmental Action Group Against Money Laundering in West Africa, GIABA, is strengthening its mechanisms to reduce illicit financial transactions in the sub-region. The move will need collaboration amongst stakeholders and members of the financial sector in the sub-region, according to Director of Economic Crime at the agency, Bono Nduka. Nduka spoke at the opening of a 3-day regional workshop for journalists on investigative reporting of economic and financial crimes in West Africa.
As you may know, our region is going through a difficult period with regard to the health and security situations. ECOWAS member states, like the rest of the world, are suffering from the horrors of acts of transnational organized crime, in particular, migrant smuggling, drug trafficking, embezzlement, corruption, and other predicates of money laundering, which all fuel the violence and terrorist act in the region. This situation, with its dramatic effects on our member states, therefore justifies the involvement, commitment, and efforts of all stakeholders to prevent and combat the scourges underlying money laundering and terrorist financing. Dear delegates, in the year 2000, the Authority of Heads of State and Government of ECOWAS established JABA in response to the adverse effects of money laundering on the economies of member states and to affirm its commitment to the global fight against money laundering and financing of terrorism. In this respect, a specialized institution, JABA, was created to assist its members by providing technical assistance.
In other news this afternoon, traders in the Shea butter business say sales have declined this Harmattan season compared to previous years. Though the severity of the Harmattan has declined in recent years, some traders say they are losing customers to chemically formulated butter. Love FM's Mona Lisa Frimpong has more in this report.
43-year-old Salamatu Abdallah has been selling shea butter since age 5. She has observed the severity of the Harmattan season declining over the years is a situation that has adversely affected her sales. Now, the highest profits she can record in a day is 10 Ghana cedis compared to the previous 50 cedis a day. But she is positive sales may shoot up the next season.
About one day now, almost it's only 20 years. And I'm saying, you might talk around on your one city cry. No other than
this season's Harmattan was not severe. We made little sales.
A pepper dear to do. You told the doing the bit nanya. Bear 50 cedar cocoa bit nanya. Say pen until I want 1 2 city. A pair of how we commit marathon.
There is a growing apathy among traders to venture into the sales of shea butter. The few who are still trading in the commodity in the central business district of Kumasi are dispersed. Salamatu says this trade requires patience.
And I'm saying, and I'm for you now. Young baby on my phone. Obiano with me in one and could turn a Juman. No, it's my. And I'm saying any.
Many of my colleagues shea butter traders have stopped the trade. They say it is not lucrative. The reduction in demand for shea butter can be due to decline in the use of raw shea butter for skincare. Whilst people say it darkens their complexion, others fear it causes acne. Though they testify of its authenticity, a number of people have switched to the use of chemically formulated body butters.
For me, I use the processed ones, but at first I was using the raw ones. I remember all the way from SHS to tertiary and even beginning parts when I gave birth. I was using raw butter for everything I was doing. It was okay for me, but then at a point, I think I used the process because people were saying, "Oh, shea butter there was a unya, the one that has been processed."
And that was Mona Lisa from Pong's report. Our top stories on myjoyonline.com. Commercial debt constitutes 42% of Ghana's external debt, according to the Bank of Ghana. And Ghana Enterprises Agency cautions public against extortion by fraudsters. More business news coming up on the marketplace. Up next, sports.
Good afternoon. We do sports now on Joy News today with me, Muftar Nabila Abla. The Association of African Sports Federation has threatened to withdraw from the 13th edition of the Africa Games to be staged in Accra next year. The body claimed to have been left out of the planning for the event. Local Organizing Committee Chairman Dr. Ofosu Asare says the government is engaging all stakeholders to ensure a successful competition. He advised the District Council associations to focus on the athletes to participate.
Efforts are being made to bring everybody to the table. As LOC members, we want every member, every stakeholder to be part of the games. These games are for Africa, Africans, I should say. And these games are owned by the African Union. So when there's a problem at that level, it's very simple. An agreement was signed for the Moroccan Games, and those who signed the agreement, we were not party to the agreement. The three parties who signed the agreement, there are a bit of misunderstanding, and I have always argued that every contract you sign, there are articles like how to resolve disputes and how to terminate the contract. So if you have a challenge, you have to invoke these articles and get them rectified. Nonetheless, we on our part believe that these issues are issues that can be resolved. We've made the president, at the highest level, efforts are being made to get those issues resolved. So I have every belief that these issues will be resolved as quickly as possible, and it will not threaten the games. Let's be very clear. Athletes must be placed at the center of the games. The games are for athletes. The games are not for individuals. So whatever we're doing, we have to place the athletes at the center of it. These games, don't forget, are to promote peace in Africa. These games are to bring about unity in Africa. These games are to provide platforms for the youth to showcase their talents, to build their careers. These games are meant for Africa. So we must think like Africans, and we must bury our parochial interests and work together as Africans. This is what we have as Africans. The African Games are for all of us. So if there are any misunderstandings, I think that we should look at it as Africans and resolve the differences. And this is possible. I mean, it is not impossible for these things. It's good that they've come out at these early stages so that we can get them resolved. And I have every belief we'll get them resolved. So rest assured, it is up to us also, the way we portray what is happening. You know, I just read an article, one was saying, oh, yeah, are we in a limbo or what? I mean, we're not in a limbo, we are on course.
To football now, and Al-Ali coach Picho Mosmane has expressed worry about the decline of Ghana's top two teams, Hearts of Oak and Ashanti Kotoko, on the continental stage. The two clubs were a force to reckon with on the African terrain in the 80s, 90s, and even early 2000s, but slumped thereafter. South African Picho, who has won the Champions League 3 times, wants to see the Phobians and the Porcupines back to competing at the top level.
Surprises me. Where is the Porcupine Warriors? Where are they, guys? They used to manhandled in the country. I mean, I think you've seen that. Yeah, that's not nice. You don't need that. That doesn't give credit to television and your sponsors and all that, you know, and improve the game. I would love to come to Ghana to watch that derby, but next time, inshallah, next time I'll get an opportunity to watch the derby because I know what that derby means. I saw the legend is back playing for Hearts of Oak. Yeah. I mean, guys, what a midfielder! What a midfielder, guys! What a midfielder!
This is how we wrap up sports here on Joy News today with me, Muftar Nabila. You can head on to myjoyonline.com and read some more sports stories.
Good afternoon, welcome to Showbiz here on Joy News. An award-winning Ghanaian gospel artist Celestine Donko has revealed that her music is doing really well on streaming platforms in Kenya than in Ghana at the moment. She made this revelation in an interview on Daybreak Hits after she was asked whether she is against the conversation of Ghanaian gospel musicians not getting shows in other countries.
My current EP, I don't know what is happening, but it's doing so well in Kenya ahead of Ghana. Yes.
Kenya?
So well, yes.
Kenya?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, ahead of Ghana. And so...
In this case, well, with the analytics, well, is it via streams you're checking or on radio? How all of these things are being supplied by, is it by your plugs? For example, Boomplay?
You're able to check on your stream portal. You're able to check on your YouTube portal. You're able to check on your social media portals. Yeah. So it's something that you need to know how it works. I don't know. I can't.
No, I understand. It's all right. Don't go further.
You need to understand how it works to know how to do it. So you need to get a professionals who know their job, and they can help you.
And Kenya is doing well than Ghana.
Kenya is actually leading in terms of streaming and viewing of my current EP.
Interesting.
And so if I know this, then it means that, for instance, if we want to host an event in Kenya, it's a smart idea.
In this case, what have you done uniquely in Kenya? Or nothing really?
Uniquely in Kenya?
Or it's just organic? It's just, you mean...
Actually, I've been to Kenya 2 times or 3 times for one biggest concert there, Praise Atmosphere.
Wow.
Yes, and one of my performances went like wildfire. It had 1 million views in 2 days.
Away from Celestine Donko, musician Bosom Piyang has bemoaned the lack of support for his brand after the release of his hit song Atajwa. According to him, he paved way and inspired drill music in Ghana and must be given due credit. Here is a conversation I had with him.
Made a comment back on social media that, you know, people are thinking that you just came out with one hit and you don't have support of the media, you don't have support from, you know, the entire industry. Is that the case?
No, the case is, you know, my grandmama was having a saying, Nipa te sabe kwan, one can share ebenina. So it was like I was remembering people who I am, basically. So I was like, yo, I'm the guy who was holding the trap and the drill music down during Corona, so I should not be forgotten that easily. So I made way for a whole lot of artists. So I think they should give me my flowers. It's not like they've totally forgotten about me. I was telling them this is the path I created and I deserve credit. It's just that.
And you think that we haven't given you credit enough?
Not too much credit.
What were you expecting from people like me, the media, and you know, the industry?
Ghana Music Awards, no, because they say Midday munkabe 22 gumwa, zenka cool because yo, it's a different thing that we brought in the industry. You could tell, yeah, for real.
And have you been keeping? Have you been keeping that going? Because if I recall, it was just, you know, the Atajwa. We can remember you of the Atajwa hitmaker. Okay. What else?
What else? Oh, I have bangers. You know, bangers for this. You know, just that the bangers is like a hierarchy. You know, there are various of it. And if I drop Atajwa, it doesn't mean my other songs wasn't bangers. You know, I have bangers like Odonium, Low Paper. I say I have banger with the Low Paper. You know, everybody knows Asabone. I don't want to mention a whole lot. You know, I did a whole lot. You know, and everybody knows. You know it. Don't trip. It's not only Atajwa.
What is the problem with the industry? What do you think is the challenge for you as an artist? You know, or is there a problem with releasing bangers? Is this that difficult? Tell me about it. I have no idea.
We have bottle bangers in on our pieces and all that, but it's not the bangers. You know. Scanim.
Okay, so there's no money in the industry.
For real, there's no money.
How do we, you know, get money in the industry? There's a conversation out there that the artists themselves don't get, you know, people to invest in the industry. Some people argue that is the attitude of the artists, reason why we're not getting investors. Do you agree with that?
I agree in any other sense, you know. It's from me, it's from you, it's from everybody, you know. It's from Ghanaians, you know. It's from Africa, and I don't blame it. And sometimes you can't. It's a natural effect on Ghanaians, you know. Talk about the population and all that. So I don't blame Ghanaians, but I think with time we are getting there and we'll get there. Yeah.
Because you mentioned investments and you mentioned that there's no money in the industry, what do you think that sets you apart? Why should an investor invest in the brand Bosom Pyong?
Because Bosom Pyong is different, and I'm from Africa, and Africa is the future. Since I'm from Africa, Africa is the future. It's simple. I don't want to get it twisted. Most songs that are popping right now, even in the States, is Afro. So that means Africa is the future, and they should look to Africa and invest in Africa.
Bosom Pyong right there, and that'll be all for Showbiz here on Joy News today. Good afternoon to you, Aisha.
Hello, beautiful Becky. That'll be it for news today. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Many thanks for watching. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. There's more of the news there. Enjoy the rest of our program.